it was no surprise that a kid from Georgia would win an Olympic medal in Atlanta. But Gia Sissaouri was no ordinary Georgian. He was from Tbilisi, the capital of the old Soviet Republic. He had come to Canada in 1991 with dreams of freedom. Winning a silver medal for his adopted home was sweet. I spoke with him in the days leading up to these trials. More than 3 years later, he can see clearly how far he's come.
It's an unfortunate reality of sports in this country that the time during an Olympic period, athletes like Gia Sissaouri are often ignored. This man won a silver medal in Atlanta in 1996. We're catching up with him now at these championships, these Olympic trials here at the CBC. And Gia, first of all, having won an Olympic silver medal in 1996 at this point, how did winning that medal change your life?
After winning the silver medal, I became more mature, more independent, more, I trust myself more because I stepped that kind of level, and it's great to be a medalist in Olympics. Not too many people have that opportunity, and it's a little bit up to luck and a lot of work, training, and a lot of concentration, focus. It's everything. It's really hard. That's why I realized how beautiful it is to be a medalist in Olympic Games.
Athletes always talk about what they hope will be the impact of a performance like that, not just on their own careers, but for their sport. And wrestling doesn't get a lot of publicity in Canada. What kind of effect has it had, do you think, on the sport of wrestling in Canada since then?
Basically, it could be better we get more, wrestling is not too rich sport in Canada, and athletes have very difficult time to get the supplies they need, like training, everything like food. We need different food, sometimes on diet. Those are expensive things, and we train a lot, a lot of hours. You have to go train and come back, training and come back, and if we get more publicity and more financial help in wrestling, I'm very sure we're going to have better quality wrestling in Canada.
Yeah, I can remember when you moved to Canada back in Montreal back in 1991, and you've now competed for Canada on the world stage. You've won events for Canada, won medals, and you're now a Canadian citizen. How Canadian do you feel?
I feel like great, and I feel like people very warm in Canada. That's why I settled here, and they give me home and everything, and I'm never gonna forget that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
58 kilo class, Gia Sissaouri, the Olympic silver medalist, also a silver medalist at a world championship and a bronze medalist at a world championship indeed. What a record against Saeed Azarbayjani. We saw him earlier in the show winning the 58 kilo class in the Greco-Roman competition.
Well, not only have these guys already wrestled once in this competition, they wrestled against each other at last year's national championships with Gia winning that match just like he won that first match this competition.
This is match number 2, round number 2. Sissaouri in the red, up 2-0.
Here's a great example of that single leg we were showing earlier. Sissaouri grabs one of Azarbayjani's legs to try to get him off balance, to get him down to the mat. They go out of bounds here, and the referee calls no points. Azarbayjani a little bit lucky there. Sometimes that's a bit of a strategy to get close to the out of bounds so that if you do get in a tough position, you don't get any points scored on you. Gia's got to try to keep it in the center of the mat to score those points.
Gia Sissaouri also adding to his resume with a gold medal at the Pan Am Games in Winnipeg, the only gold won by Canada in the wrestling competition.
Well, Gia's just got a lot of confidence, and that comes with experience. That also comes with the right kind of training. Especially against a wrestler like Azarbayjani here, Gia's got a lot more experience, a lot older, a lot better training. So, he's pretty confident in a match like this because he deserves to be in that position.
Sissaouri won the first match of this final handily, 11-0. There is a 10-point mercy rule in wrestling. Once a wrestler's up by 10 points, he's given the match. But Gia's having a bit more of a challenge from Azarbayjani in match number 2.
That 10-point rule is basically considered a pin, right? So if you score 10 points more than your opponent, the referee stopped the match. Here he's on a single leg takedown again, gets his opponent down to the mat, gets 1 point, and from here he'll try to turn Azarbayjani on his back.
Referee Jay Bradbury with the colored wristbands indicating who is scoring the points. He'll raise the red armband for the red wrestler, the blue for the blue.
That's a 2-point gut wrench for Gia Sissaouri there.
5-0 now.
Exposed Azerbaijani's back to the mat. And again, as soon as your back passes 90 degrees, they get 2 points for that. Like we were saying earlier also, if no points are scored after a while, not much action, the referee stops the match, starts the wrestlers back up on their feet, start over again.
Gia is coached by Victor Zilberman of the Montreal Wrestling Club. Victor is Russian and has been instrumental in bringing some of these Georgian athletes over to Canada. You'll often hear him shouting instructions in Russian to Sissaouri and some of his other athletes.
He's done that, and he's also coached some excellent born and bred, raised in Canada athletes. Pat Sullivan in the early 80s and Clark Davis, both medalists at the World Championships, both excellent wrestlers, both coached by Victor Zilberman. Here, it sort of looks like Gia's just sort of taking it easy. He's got the match totally in control. Azerbayjani's really got to try to open up here. He's got to score some big points, which is pretty tough against a wrestler like Gia.
And Azerbaijani's been busy at these trials, and the fatigue may be a factor, not to mention he's up against an Olympic and a world medalist.
Well, there's nothing worse than wrestling all day to get up to this point and then having to wrestle Olympic silver medalists, that's for sure. But he does a great job of countering there, scores 1 point. That showed a lot of composure because, you know, he was in a bit of trouble, scored a good counterpoint there, and unfortunately, though, it's going to be a little bit too late, I think.
Azerbaijani taking on this Georgian, and I guess there's kind of a geographical relationship between these two because Azerbaijan is kitty corner to Georgia in that part of the world.
Well, I remember way back in the early 90s, we were going over to Georgia to wrestle right when there was the turmoil in Azerbaijan, and it was a little bit scary.
But Gia Sissaouri is the victor in this one, handling Saeed Azarbayjani and winning this Olympic trial as almost everyone here expected.
And Gia does a great job of controlling this match and the previous match. You know, it's really hard to overcome that kind of experience and skill for a young wrestler like Azerbayjani.
A day at the office for this talented wrestler from Georgia, now a Canadian citizen.
Well, he received one of the takedowns by Gia. That's a high crotch move. Gets him on his legs, lifts him up, gets him down flat on the mat, scores the point. Here we see Gia trying to turn Azerbaijani. He's got that arm blocked. And once you can get that arm blocked, that's a great way to score 2 points.
He won the Olympic silver medal in Atlanta, and he's on track for gold perhaps in Sydney, taking the first step. Gia Sissaouri, congratulations, Gia. How would you describe the match?
It was a little tougher than the first one for me. I guess I got a little tired, and it's important to concentrate and I was waiting a long time because beginning of my match was different. Other weight class, they took a little longer, so I was on and off, you know, from the concentration. So finally, when they called me, I was not really concentrate. That makes the difference. So I take care of it. So I'm glad. So it's hard to wrestle same guy. We're all competitive in 1 hour.
Congratulations.
Thank you.